Greetings, everyone. I'm ambeshsingh, along with the jonasrapp, present you to all the 11th episode of the Power Platform Community Tool series. In this episode, we are going to talk about the another important plugin or the tool available in XrmToolBox, which is UML Diagram Generator. If you have not watched the previous episodes, please check the complete playlist or links in the description of this video. Although don't forget to subscribe the channel to get the notification on the new updates. The UML diagram generator for Microsoft Dynamics 365 is a tool in the XRM toolbox that generate the entity relationship diagram in the form of plant UML files that metadata in Microsoft Dynamics 365 and the Power Platform common data servers. Some key features you can think about, like it generate the visual representations of the entities and their relationship, which can be useful for the understanding of the data structures. The output is in the text format, so allowing for us easily editing and the version control, making it suitable for the collaborative environments. Also, user can filter the entities and the attributes and customize how relationships are displayed in the diagrams. The tool is particularly helpful for developers and the architects working for the Dynamics 365 and the Power Platform, as it simplifies the visualization of the complex data model. Are you planning to use it to a specific project? Then stay tuned to us. Max and Mia, co-workers in Contoso, Max seek the help from the Mia that if she can find the easy way to generate the UML diagram for his upcoming workshop. Mia recommend him to use the UML diagram generator. She asked to follow the demo by Jonas to know how easy it is to set up, how you can connect probably with the Fetch XML builder or the Visual Studio extensions. So over to you, Jonas.
Okay, thank you. So I think the workshop is something is very good when we will actually use this tool. So let's just have a look, and let's not go to you, but here. So we have this, just to find it, diagram. There we have currently just one tool in the Action Toolbox. There are more of these tools. Just test it and see how it works and so on. So if you saw on my previous episode about the lake-bound constant generator, you recognize itself. Well, it's actually the same UI for you, and like it's only creating a bit of different files from it. Okay, let's start. We have a bunch of entities, tables here, 600 something, and of course I start, of course, from one solution where I'm working. This is what I'm working on right now, so now I only see those entities. And in this case, maybe I don't want to have all these in the model that you can actually see visually. I don't need the intersects, but they will show up in a way. So I remove those, and then for some reason this entity is not in my solution anyway. I can remove that as well, since there's no data in that when we're testing it here. So let me just do this. So now I have these 4 entities I want to include in the model to create. Also, we need to filter a bit more on the other ones, but let me just start with the table. So let me just add it, and of course, what I want to do, we want to test it to see what it can generate. So doing this, and it will ask me where to save it. I have this spaced model for it, and I just say save. And now we can see created a file there, and if I click on this learn more, which is kind of strange name, but oh, and I was too late, and let me just go here, we can find it. And then you can just double click on that, and it will ask how should I open this? Because the suffix here is plant UML. What is that? Well, we can use it in Visual Studio. I think you should probably just say always use Visual Studio, VS Code, I mean. So we have these here. To make it work, you have to install an extension that's called plant UML. There are a bunch of those out there, and I would suggest you going to my documentation. Documentation is a bit too big word, but it's in here. And if you're scrolling down, it can say how to actually get this plant UML. But I have it already installed here, which means I can now right click and set preview the diagram. And let's see, wow. So, okay, I have not so very useful, but now I have these 4 entities there. Okay, going back to XrmToolBox. I want to add some attributes also, so we can see, okay, what we're using a rocket for and so on, and the other entities as well. For account and contact, let me just take the main fields there, attributes. So I don't really need anything more, but let me add those so we have something there. And then for the rocket, we have a bunch of those here, and a lot of them without a display name. So they're probably just virtual or logical names. So let me just remove those. Now it looks a bit more decent, I think. And we can actually just do this also, said only show the unmanaged. So now I know that, okay, these I'm really interested in. So add all of those and let me do just the same thing for mission. Now we have those as well. And just generate it. Let me just go back here, and then I can just say, okay, show it again. Now I have a bit more info. We see here there are some that have blue color on the fields there, and the blue are my custom attributes. And same thing for in the frame around the tables, the one that are blue, they are custom tables. Count and contact, they are not custom attributes, so they are still black. Okay, now we have a bit more information there. Then I think we should also add some more options here. We should give some more to it. And of course, let me just start with it's calling about space, ref space. And should I show the display name or the schema name or logical name? And could add a bit of the size there. So let me just see what happens. So just generate it again, and then I'll go back and say, update it. Okay. Okay, this was very big, not so useful, but you can do it to flip about how you really want it to look and so on. So just put it back to the default. From here, we're going on with, we need some relationships for creating a model. The relationships, that's the most important things to include as well. Okay, so which could we add here? We could just add them all, but I don't really think so, since in this case, we should actually use the orphans. So exclude all orphans. I mean, so now we only see relationship to other tables that we have selected, which means then I do just like this, get all of those for the mission and all for the rockets, and for these, I don't really want everything, since I want the primary contact so we know who is the boss at the account and who is, what do we have more here? The company name from the contact, but of course, rocket and mission, those are there as well. And I will do that, like same thing for the account manager, we're skipping that, but parent account, we skip that as well. But contact and the mission and the rocket and the primary contact. So let's see what it looks like right now. Go back here, say to update it, and we'll see, now we have true relationships here. So we see here from the account, we have one to many contacts. Okay. The account has a lot of contacts. It's also the many to one, which means that's the boss. And then from account, we have one to many rockets, the same from the contact. And if we're scrolling down, we see that there are many missions on one rocket and so on, and even from mission to contact. Well, I can be part of a few more travels in the space. We should do what we should do should show a bit more on how we can display the names and so on, because when we're looking here, we see these are the display names only. If we are more technical people at the workshop, or I mean, this could be the documentation for your solution as well. Let's just create it to use a schema name, just like that. And let's see again. We go back and say to update it. Here we go. So now we see these are the schema names. So we see more details here. And you know what? I want to also know what are the relationships. Well, let me just add one other option here. to include the lookups. So we'll see what is that. And we'll also, at the same time, I will add the more details about the type of the attribute as well. And we go there and look at it here and generate it again. Okay, we see more information about the attributes types. This is now a string 160 and so on. Now we have also the relationships. What are they called? Well, this is a manufacturer of the rocket. Well, the manufacturer is an account and the designer is a contact and so on. And we see, but now in this case, when we're looking at the schema names or the logical names, there's a bit more extra info that we don't really need to see. Everything starts with wrap, my last name, underscore. So let me just, we can say it to just include some prefixes. So let me just add, remove everything that's called wrap. And I'll also make it a camel cases, if that helps. It looks more decent when we're going to just read it and so on. And we do another preview. So, okay, now, does this look decent? I think so, for me at least. And also, let me look a bit in the file here, what is created. I mean, this is not called as XML, JSON, or YAML, or anything like that. It's just some type of a flavor they created, which means we have all of these here on the left side. We have, this is one entity for the mission and all the attributes there as well. And there are actually some, this looks like HTML, sort of, for setting the colors and so on. And a bit of which should be required and so on, which we see here in the dots there, and so on. And at the end, well, these are all the settings for generating this because it's saved in the same file. And I mean, for plant UML, that doesn't care about this because it's committed, and actually the tool here that will read all the settings from the comment part of the file at least. And I think that's all here. Do you have any more questions, Ambesh?
No, I think you blown my mind. So I have a session with my customer in the coming days, and I'm definitely going to use this tool because I can see a lot of values here. And on the top of that, like how easy is to use this? I'm using the Mac here. And on the Mac, I really had a problem with the Visio because then I need a different virtual machines to work with. But with this one, the generated diagrams, yeah, just create it. And then you have a lot of option. If I need to go with the technical round, I can go with the schema name. If I have to go for more managerial round, I can directly go with the display name or the logical name because then it make more sense for the management that how the whole data structure look like, the new data structure.
I mean, using it during workshop when we're actually physically creating the tables and so on, and we can just update it every time and just to see it very visually how the model is looking. And I think that's great. And I'm also using it for actual documentation. Since it's created, you can easily right click in the file there to generate the PNG or some visual files. And that's part of my documentation.
Yeah, awesome. And thank you again, Jonas, for a really wonderful demo. Please subscribe to the channels, like and share the videos within the community. Also provide your feedback in the comment section that what episode you want to cover next. Till that, have a great time and happy learning. Goodbye.
Take care.